Hi friends, Amy started in the kitchen today. I have got ribs, my barbecue ribs. They're so yummy. And what would a summer be without some ribs? I'm actually gonna put on an apron for this. I'm just gonna pull that out. Okay, when you get your ribs, we're just gonna dive right into it today. I'm gonna use a spice rub, our basic barbecue spice rub, which you would have by now. I'm gonna use my barbecue sauce. I'm gonna show you how to use it as is. I'm gonna show you how to make it a little bit more tropical fun summer with some pineapple juice, and we're just gonna dive in and we're gonna end up with really beautiful, succulent, almost fall off the bone, yummy as anything ribs. So first things first, when you get your ribs, if you get them from a butcher shop, ask the butcher to remove the membrane. It's gonna make for a even better eating experience. And if you are not getting them from a butcher and they've been pre-packaged and you're buying them as is, make sure that the membrane is gone. The membrane, this is not for the squeamish. If you're squeamish, just get over it, because this is really what makes cooking awesome. It's just roll up your sleeves, get right in there. So there's a membrane here and it doesn't break down, which means it's very chewy when you eat it. So you don't want that. So what we're gonna do is we just take a little knife, like a little sharp paring knife, and right along a bone, you're just gonna make a slit on each side. That's gonna loosen it up, and then you're going to just get in there and find, it's like a paper thin membrane, and you're just gonna pull it right off. I like to use paper towel because it gives me some grip. Again, not for the squeamish, but get over it. You're cooking in the kitchen, okay? We're just gonna pull that off, and oops, that's my pot for barbecue sauce. There's my scrap bowl, okay. And this is gonna make for such, like I said, already said it, such a better ribs, okay? If you don't think you can handle this task, but it's very satisfying, I must say, you can just score with a knife. I have a feeling some of you are just gonna go that route. Okay, but honestly, this is amazing. Now, there's two ways you can cook your ribs. We pre-cook them at a lower heat in order, it's like low and slow, to tenderize. You can do that by wrapping them in foil, which is what I'm gonna do for the barbecue, or you can put them straight on. If you put them straight on, you're gonna have more of a chewy, sort of on the bone texture, which is lovely. And if you wrap them in foil first, it's gonna be a little bit softer. That steam really goes to work, okay? I'm gonna do it the foil method. And the great thing I love about ribs is that I can do this part ahead of time, cook them, par cook them basically is what we're doing, and then I can freeze them like that. And then when I'm ready to cook ribs quickly, it's all about smart prep. I just pull them out, slather them with my barbecue sauce, and take them to the grill. So the first part of cooking ribs is low and slow. So we're gonna have a low heat for a longer time, about an hour and a half. Then we're gonna take them to the grill for like a quick 5-10 minutes just to sear, get a little bit of caramelizing on that sauce, and make them so yummy. Okay, so very easy. Now that I've removed the membrane, I'm just gonna flip them over, and I'm just going to drizzle just a little bit of any type of cooking oil that can withstand some heat. Okay, there's really no reason to season the underside because there's no meat there. And now, of course, I'm gonna scatter them with that great basic barbecue rub. See how it's coming in handy in many different ways for both plant-based meals and meat-centered dishes. Okay, nice and generous. Get on, we're layering flavor. So this is gonna be our first layer of flavor. And then our barbecue sauce is gonna come next after the step one cooking, okay? So just like that, now I'm gonna wrap them in foil. I'll show you my cool foil method. Set this back here. And just gonna move these out of the way for a sec. And now, look at that, look at that. I mean, that's just like a barbecuer's dream. Okay, foil, pretty big. 1, 2, I'm gonna attach them together. 2. And this is my trick. So you take 2 pieces of foil. Ooh, look, it's like a disco show. Okay, and then you're gonna fold the 2 edges over onto themselves, just creating a seal, because we're gonna open this up and have a giant piece of foil is basically what we're doing. But you wanna make sure you give that at least 2 or 3 folds, because you don't want it to separate or cause any leak. Okay, I'm gonna actually just flip this over so my disco side's inside. for no cooking reason, just because I feel like I'm in a disco. Which sometimes is great. Okay, wrap it up. Now, if you were doing this in the oven, you can, I'm gonna wrap it up nicely. Okay, just gonna kind of go over itself. I'm gonna wrap these upwards so that if I want to unwrap it and check on that, it's really easy. Okay, so just like that. Now it's ready. Now if you were doing these in the oven, you could put them in a bake sheet and just cover the bake sheet with foil. You wouldn't have to do it pouches. I'm gonna take these to the grill. So at this point, I just put them on a preheated grill, very low heat, between 300, 350 for about an hour and a half. You might want to go 325. That's kind of nice too. And just keep an eye on your heat, indirect heat. When you take these off the grill, you could just then slather them with barbecue sauce and take them to the heat again to get a nice caramelizing of that sauce, get the sauce to adhere to the ribs. And our basic barbecue sauce works just perfectly as we've made it. However, if you want to have a little bit of fun, I'm going to be making some pineapple cocktails and mocktails later in the week. So I had a big jar of pineapple juice, and I do love pineapple with pork, especially in the summer. So all I'm going to do is take equal parts pineapple juice. I have a nice pure pineapple juice and my barbecue sauce. And so I'm just, again, like when you have the right bases on hand, it's really easy to layer the flavors and kind of take something in a slightly different direction. Can't do that lid up for some reason. And I'm just going to whisk this together. And so all I'm going to do now, I've obviously made it more liquidy because I've added the pineapple. And so what I want to do is just reduce it down to that nice thick sauce consistency so that I can slather it on. It's going to stay on the ribs as opposed to running off of them. And because I've added a little bit more pineapple, there's a little bit more sugar in there, which is going to make even more of a nice caramelizing. So that's going to be beautiful. I'm just going to get that on a little bit of medium heat. And while my ribs cook, that can reduce down. So I've got everything ready at the same time. Again, those ribs are going to take about an hour and a half. If you're bringing them to 2 hours, they'll really fall off the bone. So I do about an hour and a half. The ribs are done. They're out of the oven. That was an hour and a half, and now I'm opening them up. There will be lots of juice in here, so just watch that. And so these smell so good. There we go. Okay, so these smell delicious. Now at this point, what I like to do, okay, I'm just gonna back up for a second. Basically, every time you're in the kitchen, if you're cooking something that freezes well, you should be cooking extra. If you're cooking something that lasts a long time, you should be cooking extra. Prep smart, cook once, eat often. All of that will save you so much time in the kitchen. So what I am about to say, following that up, is at this point, then I take one whole rack and set it aside and cut it into smaller pieces. Remember, I feed kidlets. So I'm gonna set these aside. I'm gonna portion them basically into smaller portions, and I'm gonna freeze them. I'm gonna let it cool completely. I will freeze these without the sauce, and then I will sauce them when I'm ready to take them to the grill, okay? So preheat your grill when you're ready. Then you wanna take your sauce. You can get a basting brush if you want, but you can also just do this with a spoon. Okay, and I'm just gonna spoon over top my sauce. Now, when I take these to the grill, I don't put them sauce side down because it's gonna burn. You can get that nice caramelizing, that nice adhering just by keeping them upright for the right amount of time at the right heat. Because they will get really sticky. Once you're used to it a little bit more, you can flip them over. But when you're learning, you might just end up with burnt ribs, and that's no fun. Okay, these are great. Look at, that's how simple it was, and I have enough sauce for all of them. So the reason why I don't sauce them and then freeze them is because you would really lose that sauce when you wrap them for freezing, whether using foil or plastic. Okay, look at that. These are awesome. Ready for the grill. Whoops, they slid right down. Look at those. Oh, these are gonna be so yummy. Just to show you how great these are, I just wanna show you that already these are so tender, they basically wanna fall off the bone as is. But this is, to me, the perfect, I'm gonna end up wearing these. I'm totally gonna end up wearing these. I don't wanna wear you. Okay. But this is like the perfect, oh, I nailed it. Like, I really nailed it. Go out there, cook up some ribs, have some fun with it, get out in that grill, and I'll see you back in the kitchen soon. If you want this recipe, don't forget to click the link below. You'll get it and all the others. So never miss a recipe.